Thinking about the origin of hate, really for me, the story of hate starts with thinking about our species' evolution. Why is it that humans hate? Where does this emotion come from? How old is hate? Is it that somehow it's unique to our species? Maybe it's in other species as well? For me, as somebody who's interested in human evolution, I have to start exactly there. Is it something about how we evolved that leads us to hate?
Right here, intro, take one, Mark.
I'm an evolutionary anthropologist. So the goal of my work is really to understand what it is to be human, and how we try to address that is actually better understanding what it is to be not human. And the thinking is that if we can understand what it is to be not human, we can identify what part of ourselves is really only found in humans. Chimpanzees and bonobos are actually more closely related to us genetically than they are to gorillas. Really, genetically, they're 99% human. That then led me to wonder, are they capable of hate? Or is it that how we can hate one another really special about us? Bonobos and chimpanzees are fascinating because they are very similar to one another. They have rich social relationships. They have long-term bonds with each other. They eat much of the same stuff. What makes the two species so interesting to study is how they're different, and they're different in ways that are so fundamental to understanding ourselves.
You really can't tell the difference between chimpanzees and bonobos just by looking at them. They look almost the same. I couldn't tell a chimpanzee from a bonobo when I first started. The differences really come when you watch their behavior and see the way their societies are made up.
Most people are more familiar with chimpanzees. They're male-dominated, and females have to endure a lot of aggression from males.
In chimpanzees, aggression is very much to establish dominance and maintain control. So if an alpha male comes in, the first thing he'll do is he'll kill all the babies.
Bonobos have none of that.
They are female-dominated, and infants and babies are almost never harmed.
So then, of course, you have to wonder, well, how did they become so different?
We think that chimpanzees and bonobos split from our lineage about 6 million years ago, and what happened was the Congo River, it sort of arcs like a rainbow through the continent. And gorillas and chimpanzees kind of like co-evolved up the top. And then bonobos were sort of like south of the Congo River. And just that river and that split created some really extraordinary differences.
Bonobos, south of the Congo River, they don't live in a world where they have to worry as much about food. So with chimpanzees, they have to compete for resources, which means that when they see another group, they see them as a competitor. They've evolved a tremendous amount of hostility towards other groups because of that competition. Bonobos have this ability to be more social, to be together and support each other because they have more resources. They have a much easier time at finding food than chimpanzees do. Chimpanzees can be friendly, but if a strange chimpanzee group meets another group of strange chimpanzees, it's going to be hostile. They're going to be aggressive towards one another, and it's because they're competing for resources. You can have as many as 40 adult males will work together to patrol the border of their territory. And it's done very intentionally. They become very quiet. They no longer vocalize. They're hunting. Hunting on the border of their territory. And what they're listening for is any sign that one of their neighbors especially a male or a mother with a young infant, is alone. And if they make the estimation that their numbers are overwhelmingly large compared to their neighbors, they will run into the neighboring territory, grab them out of the tree. If it's an infant, they'll tear it off the mother and they'll eat them alive right there. Bonobos and chimpanzees have actually been separated for over 1 million years. And what we're saying is that they have evolved to be different. It's a story of ecology, of how the forest is built that's really shaped who they evolved to be. In bonobo land, it's a richer, more predictable resource. The male aggression, it just doesn't pay. And chimpanzee aggression is a very successful strategy in that ecology.
Chimpanzees are, almost this perfect reflection of ourselves because they have a wonderful side. And I've raised orphan chimpanzees before, and you've never met like a more loving, more compassionate, empathetic, more human animal. And yet they also have this dark side. It was like a lot of violence and aggression towards proving their status. And this is exactly what humans do. A status-striving, dominance-striving behavior is something we see everywhere when it's advantageous.
Within our own groups, we can be even more loving and kind than bonobos. But we're still a competitive species. And between groups, we can act more aggressive and violent than even chimpanzees. And that then allows us to be so cruel, so awful, and the most hateful species probably that's ever evolved.